Now that we discussed Facebook and Twitter, it's time to talk about Instagram. Instagram is a mobile application that combines the features of a photo sharing site and a social networking site. It was recently acquired by Facebook and its popularity is skyrocketing. It now has more subscribers than Twitter, over 300 million monthly users. Unlike other social networks where people can also post images and videos, on Instagram no standalone text updates are allowed. People have to share an image or a short video of up to 15 seconds. Anytime you upload a media file, you can apply special filters to it, crop images, change color, adjust the contrast, luminosity, saturation, and other options. This makes Instagram a highly visual social network. Moreover, even if Instagram can be browsed from the web like any other social media site, photos and videos can only be uploaded from mobile devices. The types of interactions allowed are very similar to Twitter. You can mention someone, follow them, send them a DM, and add hashtags to your posts. But just like Facebook, you can also like other people's posts and comment on them. If you see a photo that you really like and that is posted by someone else, you can repost it using another app called Repost app. There are two versions of it, a free one and a paid one, but the free one is perfectly okay. It just leaves the name of the user who originally posted the image on a corner of the image. Really, you don't need to pay for the premium version. On your profile, you have a profile photo, a space for your bio, and an external link. So that's all you need to fill before you're ready to go. In our next lecture, we're going to look at how you can use Instagram to find new potential customers. But before you switch to the next video, I have homework for you. Visit the Instagram account of one of your competitors or future competitors if you haven't launched your product yet, and take a look at what kind of content they share, how often they post, and how successful they are in terms of interactions they generate. Then move on to our next lecture and see whether what we discussed resonates with your findings. See you there. Now it's time to talk about how you can use Instagram to grow your business. Instagram can be useful on many different levels. It can help you find out more about prospective clients and their preferences. It can help you promote your product, service, or expertise, or generate leads. First of all, it is important that you have a clear idea of what your goal is. When talking about Twitter, we already mentioned the importance of hashtags. On Instagram, they are, if possible, even more important. This is because on Twitter you have the 140 character limitation that prevents people from using many hashtags. On Instagram, instead, you don't have this restriction and you are free to add as many hashtags as you wish. First of all, hashtags create engagement. A research by the people at We Are Social Media shows that posts that include hashtags have much higher like-to-follower ratios than those that don't. They also spotted some hashtags you might want to avoid, and here they are. So make sure to never include these hashtags. If you use Repost app, delete the hashtag symbol before the word repost. Why is this important? When talking about Facebook, we discussed the EdRank algorithm and explained how engagement helps you increase your chance to appear on your fans' newsfeed. Instagram, at least for now, does not have such an algorithm, meaning that if someone follows you, he or she will see your photos on their newsfeed. So this is not the reason why we care about engagement here. We do because if your profile looks popular, has many followers and likes, people will be more prone to follow you as well as start interacting with you, which is exactly what any user on Instagram wants. If you have more followers, you automatically expand your audience, meaning that you have higher chances to get people to purchase your product, your service, or anything else that you're selling. People will be more likely to convert to actual customers if you use Instagram to take them behind the scenes of your brand. Show your personality, give your brand a unique voice, and express it through your photos. Use Instagram to reveal things that you haven't shared on your Facebook, Twitter, or blog. This makes your Instagram followers feel special. Make a short video of your business opening a new store, of yourself opening the box of a new product, taking a trip, or speaking at an event or conference. Get personal. Give your Instagram followers a discount code which you're only releasing to them, for example. Also, make clever use of your bio. URLs are not clickable on Instagram. Only the link in your bio is, so make sure you pick one that is relevant to your audience. Keep in mind that most people will visit your Instagram profile from a mobile device, so you might want to direct them to a specific landing page that you created for mobile users. Then, anytime you post a picture, add in the photo description a call to action that invites users to click on the link in your bio. It works. As you understand, the possibilities are endless. Instagram is a very sort of basic social network, but it provides a lot of ways for entrepreneurs to promote their business. Now, think of the Instagram account that you chose for your homework in your previous lecture. Are they applying these strategies? Take a piece of paper and write down 2 things that they are already doing and 2 things that we discussed that you think they should be doing but they are not doing. Reflecting upon this, you will get a deeper and more practical understanding of this topic, and you'll be ready for our next lecture. Welcome to the Instagram lecture that will unveil a special tool that, yeah, you guessed it, will make you optimize your activity and make you save a lot of time and efforts and expand your audience. By now, you should know how much I love optimizing everything. But first, let me share with you other useful tips on how to increase your popularity on Instagram and your engagement level. We said that Instagram allows you to apply color filters to your pictures. Remember, just because you can do that, it doesn't mean that you have to do that. Truth is, I learned that the most successful accounts only post higher quality pictures and never apply filters. You can adjust colors, saturation, contrast, and so on, but do it manually and don't use pre-made filters. So try to forget about filters and let me know how it goes. Another tip is use emoticons. They grab the attention of the readers, make your posts fun and engaging, adding 1 or 2 emojis. If for any reason you are not able to post them directly, you can copy and paste them from a website called emojipedia.org. It's really useful. If you're wondering about the best times to post on Instagram, there is not just one right answer. The good news is that there is one completely free tool that generates a report for your account and can tell you what is the right time to post for you. You can generate your report at simplymeasure.com and just click Free Instagram User Analysis under Free Tools and follow the steps. The report will be emailed to you and you'll get many amazing and very useful stats, including this amazing graph. You can even export your data as an Excel file, so definitely worth checking out. The last tip is interact. Don't just expect people to talk to you. Be the first one to speak up and comment on someone else's pictures. Now, I know this could be a daunting task. It really is, and that's exactly where our magical optimizing tool comes in. I'm talking about Instagress. What it basically does is interacting with potential customers on your behalf. You give it your instructions and it does the work for you, simple as that. So go to instagress.com and start your 3-day trial adding your Instagram account. After that, you can visit your administration panel. You can basically tell Instagress to like, comment, follow, and unfollow other people on your behalf. I personally suggest you to avoid posting automatic comments as they might look as spammy and someone might report your account. But let's take a quick look at your interface on Instagram. If you wanted to interact with people on the basis of the hashtags they post, which I would recommend, set tags as a media source. Then skip the comment section as we said it's not good to use it and go to the tags section. Here's where you need to choose the hashtags that will determine the people who your account will interact with. You can take a look at all the other options, but generally everything is very straightforward. Then select like and follows at the top of the page. Select the slow or medium as activity speed and then you're ready to go. Instagram is not the only automation service that is available online, but I think it is by far the best one. It is not free, but it costs less than $10 per month, and by month I mean 30 days. But only if you let Instagram run non-stop. You can decide to let it run for 12 hours a day, and you will spend less than $10 for 2 months. And you will see the results, believe me. Please note that while TweetDeck is officially promoted by Twitter, Instagram does not have anything to do with Instagram. Instagram does not permit the use of automation services. This is why I suggest you to use Instagram in slow mode so that it performs a realistic activity on your behalf. Too much activity could result in Instagram suspending your account, and if you use Instagram, you do so at your own risk. I did it and it worked incredibly well for me, so I couldn't help but talking about it with you. If you're already using Instagram, you might have noticed that they recently introduced Instagram ads. However, it's not yet available to everyone. Since the launch of the application, users came up with a different strategy to promote on Instagram, but not so many people know about that. Have you ever seen an Instagram profile with hundreds of thousands of followers or millions of followers and with contact information in their bio for business proposals? If you've seen one, probably the person behind it is successfully monetizing his Instagram activity. How? Easy. Companies selling products belonging to the same niche contact him or her and ask him or her for a paid shout out, a recommendation to follow a specific account. This type of advertisers charge anywhere between $20 to $500 for a shout out, depending on how large and active their audience is. This type of negotiations is beyond Instagram's control and will probably keep on existing even after the introduction of Instagram ads. At the moment, it's still going very strong. So how do you become a self-made advertiser? Let's go through the steps you need to take. You need to expand your audience using all the strategies we've seen so far. No one will pay to have a post featured on your account if you don't have at least 10,000, 15,000 followers. Don't worry if these figures seem huge. You can get there pretty quickly, especially if you use Instagram. Download Kik, an instant messaging app. It's often used by advertisers on Instagram. Add your email and Kik username to your Instagram bio. And that's it. As your audience grows, people will start noticing you. Now that you know about this, pay attention to the activity of big Instagram accounts and take a look at how many shout-outs they give to smaller accounts. You'll be amazed. We're at the end of our Instagram section. Now you're ready to go back to your editorial plan and add your Instagram strategy. See you in the next lecture where we'll talk about niche social media sites. Everybody is always talking about the generic social networks. These sites are for everyone. It doesn't matter whether someone is interested in programming, horse riding, music, fashion, crochet, web design, wood cutting, animal agriculture, it doesn't matter. You will find something that you're interested in. This means that for you as an entrepreneur and marketer, you are hoping to find customers in a very large pool. Let's say that you're looking for many small fishes in a very large pond. This is not the case with niche social media sites. The sites are specifically dedicated to a niche of users that share one or more interests. Let's check out some examples. This is a community for, as the founders stated on their site, believers who want to discover the truth behind the UFO phenomena. Assume you just published a book about mysterious UFO sightings in California in the year 1995, and a single person who subscribed to ufopetrol.com is a potential buyer. No need to think of complex strategies for targeting. Everyone there could buy your book, so you had to be there. As you can see, this is a gathering place for all people loving the gothic industrial culture. If you are selling anything that could appeal to people who have this type of interest, join and start interacting with literally anyone, because anyone is your potential customer. If you've launched a new site where people can buy books, or where you collect book reviews, or where you promote emerging writers, or anything the book lovers could like, this is the place to be. You see, there are so many niche websites, one for each niche. It's up to you to find them, and you can simply Google some keywords and browse the results, as easy as that. You are the expert in your niche, so I'm sure you already know much more than I do as to how to spot a niche website that could be useful for you. If looking for customers in a generic social media site is like looking for small fishes in a large pond, with niche social media site you search for big fishes in a small pond. Doesn't that sound much better? On niche social networks, you can engage with your potential customers on a deeper level. For example, users on niche social media sites can typically complete very specific fields on their profiles. On a social network about books, as the one we've seen earlier in this lecture, a member might be able to specify which type of books he or she reads more frequently and who is his or her favorite author. So let's assume you want to sell a book about a story set in the Victorian age. You would just have to look for people whose favorite author is Dickens. And you have an incredibly high chance that those people will be interested in what you have to say and sell. This is much harder to do on generic sites. Another good reason to join niche social media sites is that they tend to have very high rankings on Google with respect to their most relevant keywords. This means that if you create an account on these niche sites, you also make it easier for people to find you on Google for those same keywords. Remember, activity on niche social media sites does not replace activity on generic social media sites. These two types of sites address two completely different audiences, and you need to create a strategy for both. Now, start Googling the best niche social networks for your business, and then go back to your editorial plan and add them to your strategy. Over the past couple of years, the internet has gone crazy over what is defined community management. First of all, we need to define what a community is. A community is a virtual space that allows people to express themselves, share information, interests, and passions. Any community is made up of three different components. Two of them I just mentioned when stating the definition of community. These are the people and the virtual space. Let's start talking about the people. When we refer to communities created by brands to promote their activity, we generally have two distinct types of users: businesses and customers. Essentially, we could have what is called either a B2B community or a B2C community. In any case, the person visiting the community will behave initially as a so-called lurker, reading, following what's going on, but without taking part in the conversation. He or she will then turn into an active user if and only if he or she thinks it is worth it. The second element is a virtual space. Whenever a group of people, imagine you and your friends, who want to meet, you need a place where you can meet. That's exactly the same with virtual communities. The only difference is that the space is not physical, but it's virtual. A virtual space may be either a self-hosted community or an open social network. An example of self-hosted community would be this one. Icon is the official Madonna fan club. This is a community because fans, meaning people who have and want to share their passion for Madonna, can meet and exchange information and opinions about their favorite performer. This one here is Madonna's official Facebook page. This is also a place where her fans can share thoughts and information, but there is a substantial difference with respect to the Icon community. Access on Icon is not open to everyone. People need to register to access exclusive content and features, and all the data that are collected by Madonna's team are their own property. Instead, on Facebook or other social networks, you do not own any information about your followers. You can access aggregated data as we saw on Facebook Insights, but you cannot access individual information. The optimal situation in terms of community management would be to create an audience on social networks and then direct that audience to the self-hosted community. The problem is that developing a self-hosted community is expensive. It is not just a blog, as we will see later in this course. It is something huge that should be handled by developers. Developing a platform like that is not something startups can typically afford. So in my work with many entrepreneurs, I developed a different kind of approach that worked really well. That is, start creating not just an audience on social media, but a real community on social media. Then, after 1 or more years, when you have the budget, consider creating your own self-hosted community. How? By being a community manager and using social media as your virtual space. Actually, the community manager is the third, often invisible element of a community. Before listing the tasks of a community manager, let's understand how community management differs from traditional social media marketing. Social media marketing creates a relationship between the brand and its customers. Community management creates relationships between its customers to bring an advantage to the brand. This means that interaction is key. Let's take a look at some of the tasks of a community manager. For example, welcoming members to the community, building relationships, moderating the conversation, promoting members and encouraging relationships formation, running events, finding internal resources to respond to some specific community discussions, enforcing the guidelines of the community, channeling the input and the response from the community into other organizational processes. But now let's take a look at why users join communities. Typically, they want to do one of these things: share passion or interest, create bonds with other users, create a new identity for themselves, interact with the brand, contribute to improving the brand, stay updated, and take advantage of special offers. Companies need to be able to satisfy these needs with their communities, otherwise they won't be able to achieve their goals. Brands create communities because in the end they want to increase their sales and sell more efficiently. How? By informing, interacting, and educating their audience. In the next two lectures, we'll explore the two main strategies to achieve that. See you there. One of the fundamental principles of community management is user empowerment. You might be surprised to know that user empowerment is a concept used in mental health to indicate that people should be empowered to promote their own health, interact effectively with health services, and be active partners in managing their disease. What this basically means is that these people should be given all the instruments and information so that they have the power to act. That's the same thing here. A community should give users all the information they need on a specific topic so they can take action. Why? Because users pay for it. Maybe not with money, but with something that might be considered even more valuable, their time and their attention. And you need to reward them. Time is the most precious thing we have, and if someone spends even 1, 2, or 3 seconds on your website or social media page, it's a huge thing, and you should be forever grateful for that. But also, you should do your best so that that person comes back, and to make this happen, this person needs to find valuable content on your page. But what? Only you know the answer to this question, because you already performed research about your target audience, but also because you are the expert about your chosen subject, or the person who best knows your product and brand. You know what a valuable piece of information is for your target. Information is valuable, information is power today. Let's look at an example. TED.com. I'm sure you've visited at least once and you've watched at least one of their impressive presentations. Why do people keep coming back on TED.com? Easy, because they always find new presentations, which means new information. Why do people care about that? Because that information can enrich their lives in many ways. I know you might be wondering, okay, Laura, but what if I don't have this type of amazing content to share? What kind of information do you expect me to provide? Anything that could be useful. The value of information is not measured by the complexity of the information itself, but by the extent to which this information is able to satisfy a need or solve a problem. If you're selling gardening products, your target audience is probably interested in gardening and might be looking for great tips on how to keep the pests out of their garden or fertilize their plants, not for life-changing presentations about how to make the world a better place by 2030. They want to make their garden a better place as quickly as possible. Never ever think that what you have is not enough and is not worth sharing. Just give it a try and the response will certainly boost your confidence. We already talked about what engagement is and how to generate engagement in your audience. In this lecture, I will explain to you why engagement is so important when you really want to create a community of people and not just build an audience. Throughout the course, we mentioned engagement, especially in the lecture dedicated to Facebook's EdgeRank. But believe me, having more people seeing your post is definitely not the main reason why you want to engage your audience. Engagement turns users into fans. Someone who is not only satisfied with what you have to offer, but also takes part in the life of the community you have created, will become a brand ambassador. Who is a brand ambassador? Many people think an ambassador is necessarily a celebrity or a politician, but that's not the case. A brand ambassador is whoever spreads your product through word of mouth. And that's by far the most effective promotion you could hope for. Write to get a response. Ask questions. Make people part of your activity, not just your mere audience. The key to engagement creation in the context of an online community is the use of gamification techniques. Gamification is defined as the use of game mechanics and game design techniques in non-game contexts. It's basically the application of typical elements of game playing, such as point scoring, competition with others, rules of play, to other areas of activity. Gamification makes technology more engaging by encouraging users to engage in desired behaviors. This technique can encourage users to perform actions that they ordinarily consider boring, such as completing surveys, shopping, filling out forms, or reading a website. Gamification can improve not just engagement, but also return on income, data quality, timeliness, or learning. Let's look at a couple of awesome examples. Mobile operator O2 developed a gift gab game in 2010. GiveGaff is a mobile phone service provider with a very unique business model. The idea is that every service provided by GiveGaff is done by the user service community, from sales to customer support. You become a member by simply purchasing your GiveGaff SIM card. When you request support at their forum and a member supports you, he gets points. After accumulating points, you can convert them into cash, which can be withdrawn or donated to charity. People do their best to achieve a certain goal. They add value to the community. And you know what? The value they provide will help empower all the other members. Clearly, this is very hard to do without a self-hosted platform, but you get the point. You can have a scaled-down version of this to start off with. Let's look at an example that is only based on traditional social media. In 2013, Audi launched their new A3 car. In the first half of the year, a truck drove through South Africa carrying a brand new A3 Sportback. The truck's final destination will be whichever city in South Africa generated the most tweets. Once there, 3 randomly selected tweeters would have the chance to exchange their own car for the new A3. At the end, 50,000 tweets guided the truck to Johannesburg. Within 5 hours of launching the campaign, Audi South Africa was trending on Twitter, which is amazing exposure for the company. Don't get discouraged by the fact that these companies had large budgets to invest to provide for great prizes for the users. Of course, the prize attracted more people to join, but remember that people are not drawn to the monetary value of the prize, but to what the prize means to them. Maybe there is no prize at all, but people might just want to join because they would love to be the winners. For once, just that. Clearly, the action that you require your customers to take should be proportionate to the prize. If you have a low value prize and you ask users to shoot a 15 minutes video of themselves singing 4 Britney Spears covers on the top of Mount Everest, well, the barriers to entry are too high and nobody will join. Conversely, if the prize is really valuable but people just need to like one of your posts to win, that's probably not going to work either, because users will think, I'm sure millions of people already joined, so I'll never be the one winner. So don't make it too easy, but not even too hard. Be reasonable. Online, you can find many tools that can help you launch and run successful contests on social media. However, my favorite one is kickofflabs.com. It lets you create a free landing page for your contest, a very easy one that helps you collect email addresses and grow your email list. Don't worry, we'll talk more about list building in the next lectures. One last fundamental tip about contests. Check your country regulations, especially if you plan to give away a large prize. The winner might be subject to taxation, for example. Check out the resources section for some useful links that will help you find information about this issue. Now, be creative and have fun. In a virtual space where users are interacting with each other, it is inevitable that not all interactions will be positive. Think about your everyday conversations. Not all of them are with people you like, and not all of them are about things you necessarily like. This is just how it works. The problem is that people have different ways of responding to what they do not like, especially on the internet, because people feel free to say whatever they want to say, how they want to say it, without necessarily feeling they have to take responsibility for their words, just because they are behind a computer screen. We know very well that behind any computer screen is a human being, but people seem to forget about it very often, and many users are really mean on social media towards other people and towards your brand. That's why you always need to be there to moderate the discussion. Moderation is a very delicate topic. Everyone develops its own moderation policy, and through time you will too. In the meantime, I will discuss the rule of thumbs here. You can start from here and then modify them through time. When you are a community manager, your community is your dinner party and you are the host. Let's take a look at what kind of conflicts you might encounter and how to handle them. First, remember, not all conflicts are negative. Sometimes they can result in richer, more significant conversation within your community. A community that tackles real issues is far more valuable to its members. You just need to learn how to embrace conflict and how to recognize when it will ruin your party. Keep your eyes open and try to predict conflict. You can do so by knowing your audience. Both in real life and in social media, moderating conflict starts with knowing your guests and understanding why they're there. When a disagreement actually starts, you can handle it in 4 different ways. Maybe you spot a conversation that might result in the conflict. However, it's a new type of conversation for you, so you cannot really tell how it's going to continue. So keep an eye on it and let it continue. As it goes on, evaluate the reasons why you should let it go on and the reasons why you shouldn't. If you understand that it doesn't add any value to your community, then stop it. If instead a topic has come up in your community before and resulted in an engaging conversation, you can step in and encourage the debate. When you become comfortable enough, you'll be able to actually start the debate in a way that is productive for your community. You shouldn't be too controversial. Just spark the conversation. Sometimes, instead of shutting the conversation down at all, you can try to steer it in a different direction. You can step in and help your community refocus. If the conflict involves personal attacks, threats, legal issues, or anything that contradicts your community guidelines, immediately stop the conversation. Another useful tip. There might be some types of other content that are specific to your industry and that you do not want people to share. For example, on social media pages for movies, it is typically forbidden to post spoilers, because this might result in discouraging some people from going to the movie theater and watch the movie simply because they already know the end. Make sure to think about what is that you do not want your audience to post. Remember, you must be part of the conversation. Always reply to comments on posts and always reply to private messages. If someone posts a question on your Facebook page and you do not respond, all other members in your community will see that you ignore the user and will think you don't really care about what people are saying, which is really bad. So always reply to comments. As I said, these are the general rules, so feel free to find the strategy that is most appropriate for you and then go back to your editorial plan and add your moderation policy there. It often sounds like blogging is the job of the decade. Fashion bloggers, movie bloggers, marketing bloggers, these people are popping up everywhere. Contrary to popular belief, it is not easy to be able to actually make a living out of blogging. But running a great blog can bring various advantages to your brand, your company, or your personal brand, including creating an additional income stream. First of all, let's see what a blog is. The word itself comes from the union of the two words, web and log. A blog is basically a website consisting of entries, also called posts, appearing in reverse chronological order with the most recent entry appearing first. It's similar in format to a daily journal. Various other words are derived from the term blog. Blogging is the act of writing a post for a blog. A blogger is a person who writes content for a blog. The blogosphere is the online community of blogs and bloggers. The earliest blogs started in the late 1990s as online diaries. Bloggers would post information about their lives and opinions. As blogs evolved, other more interactive features were added to create a real conversation between the blogger and his or her audience. Readers could, for example, comment on blog posts or link to posts on other blogs and websites to expand the conversation. Today, there are over 100 million blogs, and this number is constantly growing. Blogs have become much more than online diaries. Many bloggers today have become very influential personalities in the entertainment industry, in fashion, and also politics. I know this might sound really exciting, but there are various things that you need to consider before launching your own blog and to make sure that blogging is right for you. With respect to any other tool, blogging is really all about writing, or mostly about writing. So you need to enjoy writing. If you don't like it at all, you necessarily need to find someone who's willing to do that for you. You need to be passionate about your topic. You cannot fake passion. There's absolutely no way to do that. So you really need to be enthusiastic to be able to convey that same passion to your audience. Blogging takes time. Whether you plan to write an article per day or just one per week, you need to make sure you are in a position where you can commit to it. You cannot launch a blog and then suddenly stop updating it because you don't have time anymore, and then maybe start posting again one day. You need to have a rhythm, and you need to keep that rhythm. If after this you think blogging is the right thing for you, great. Now let's see how a blog can help you grow your business. A blog is a powerful means to show that you are competent. You have the space to turn your knowledge into words and make your prospective clients understand that you are the expert who can solve their problems. When you try to come up with ideas for your articles, you need to perform at least some research on Google to try and understand whether someone is already talking about it, what they are saying, and how. This way, you can make sure your content is always unique, but most of all, you will stay up to date with anything that is happening in your industry. This translates into more knowledge and expertise that, in a vicious cycle, translates into more valuable content and more clients that trust you and want to do business with you. With a blog, you also give people an additional chance to find you, especially through search engines. You'll definitely see an improvement in your positioning in terms of search engine optimization. A blog is a great place where you can build your own list of contacts. Remember when we talk about the difference between self-hosted communities and communities on social media? If you build an email list, all those email addresses are for you to keep. They are no one else's. We'll have a whole lecture that will teach you how to build your list. You can also use your blog as a means to create additional revenue for your business by selling some sections of it as advertising spaces, for example, but we'll see this more in details in a dedicated lecture as well. Last but not least, you must be wondering, how do I practically create my own blog? Most blogs now are WordPress based. As stated on WordPress.com, WordPress started as just a blogging system but has evolved to be used as full content management system and so much more through the thousands of plugins and widgets and themes available. You can create your blog without any coding knowledge. Since the web is full of many fantastic tutorials that show you how you can create your own WordPress blog, I collected some of my favorite ones in a PDF file you can find in the additional resource section of this lecture. Check it out and don't forget to post a question in the discussion area if you need more assistance. Now, ready to find out how to create content with purpose? Let's dive into our next lecture. One of my absolute favorite quotes is this one: "If you fail to plan, you plan to fail." And apparently it's a quote from Benjamin Franklin. Well, it doesn't really matter who said it. What matters is that it states a fundamental truth for anyone who has to do with business and/or marketing. By now, you should perfectly know what an editorial calendar is and how to use it. In the template you downloaded, you must have noticed a section dedicated to your blog. In fact, you should have a clear plan for your blog and have a clear idea what you are going to post and when. The first thing that you should decide is how often you are going to post. You should publish a regular update, maybe every week or every day or every 3 days, you decide, but be reasonable. Your goal should be to provide quality, not quantity. Be realistic. Writing takes time, and if you don't have time to write an article every day, that's completely fine. Think about how you could fit writing into your everyday schedule. Then you should decide what to post. Whatever your blog is about, here's a great tip to come up with a long-term list of articles. Imagine you're creating a course about your chosen topic. If you had to teach your stuff to someone else, what would you start off with? Plan each article as if it were a very small module of your course. Empower your readers. Take them through a journey and turn them into experts, one article at a time. Once your blog is full of very useful articles, you can add a Start Here page, providing a list of the most important links that new users should read so they can immediately get a feel as to what the blog is about and taste some of your best content. Don't forget to include an About page as well. In this page, you'll tell people who you are and why they should follow you and read your blog. Bring numbers, case studies, pictures, videos, customer testimonials, anything that can be used as a social proof. I know this might sound trivial, but don't include any false information, please. Because in the end, the quality of your blog post will speak for yourself, so no need to lie. Honesty should not only be at the basis of your About page, but all of your articles and marketing efforts in general. We live in an era where information is accessible to anyone. If you write something that is untrue, people will find out, and you will regret it. The reason why I feel I have to mention this is that many people often feel like they are not good enough and there is no reason why people should listen to them. So they sometimes make up some false information to validate their position. But let me tell you, you don't need to do that. Again, the quality of your writing will speak for you and will be far more effective than any other university degree or job title on your CV. You need to be remarkable, be different. We mentioned that the blogosphere currently counts over 100 million blogs, so it's very likely that whatever you want to talk about has been already covered by someone else. But the great news is that it has never been covered by you. Add your touch, your experience, and your personality and let it shine through. People will love it. Moreover, this will help you build an audience that you can also relate with on a personal level, which will definitely play in your favor if these people convert into actual customers, because they already know you, but most of all, they already like you. Many people prefer seeing pictures instead of reading. That's a fact. In the age of social media, it is of paramount importance to produce a lot of visual content that captures the attention of the laziest readers. You don't even need to be an experienced graphic designer to do that, as there are lots of free online tools that can help you create visually appealing artworks that you can share on your blog and social media accounts, for example, Canva or PicMonkey. Last but not least, the number one rule of blogging is that whatever you post, you need to like it yourself. You're passionate about your topic, right? Then, would you visit your blog and read your articles if they were written by someone else? Only if the answer is yes, then you're on the right track. When we speak about digital marketing in general, each single action of appreciation that you can get from your audience is valuable. A like on Facebook, a follow on Twitter, a repost on Instagram, all of these things are huge. However, that is just one big asset that you can have online, and that is your email list. We mentioned how popular social media sites are, especially for Facebook and Twitter. We talked about millions of users. This translates into millions of different types of posts and content that a user could easily get distracted with on this kind of sites. Their email box instead is a much quieter place. When you send someone an email, you're playing with your own rules. You create your content in the way you wish to create it, and your imagination is literally your only limit. There is also a debate going on as to whether social media, or at least the ones that are most popular now, are here to stay or just a fad. Whatever the correct answer is, only time will tell. But one thing is certain, emails are here to stay. But how should you use email communication to build and strengthen a bond with your customers? First of all, pay strong attention to the first email you send, the so-called welcome email that welcomes users to the mailing list. The email should authentically reflect your own personality. Be you. This will be useful to the subscriber to understand what kind of content is going to receive from you and what he or she should generally expect from you. Always remind your subscribers that you are there for them. Don't make people forget about you. If they get an email from you after 3 months of silence, they might not remember who you are at all and quickly unsubscribe from your list. And you don't want that to happen. We also said multiple times that marketing, any type of marketing, is an exchange, which means that somebody gives you their email address and you need to give them some value in return. Give them an ebook in exchange for their email, give them any other downloadable resources or any other valuable content that is only available to subscribers. Keep your promise. Don't say that something is exclusively available to subscribers and then you just post it on your blog for everyone to download. Respect your subscribers and reward them, and you'll gain their trust. If you're uncertain about what topics are most appealing to your audience, there's a really helpful tool that is called BuzzSumo that lets you see what articles are the most popular on any site. If you don't have a large number of articles yet on your blog, you can simply take a look at the most popular posts on your competitor's blog to get an idea of what you could be writing about. Okay, so now you know what you should write in your emails, but how do you get people to sign up? First of all, you need a dedicated sign up page on your blog. You can specify there what kind of content people are going to receive by signing up, and maybe what kind of downloadable resources, and of course include the sign up form. Don't use the classic sign up button. Write something more original. If people are going to get an ebook if they sign up, then write send me the ebook. But this is just an example. Also, place your form on different areas of your blog. Place it at the end of articles, place it on your blog sidebar, anywhere provided that people can see it. A great way to get subscribers is through this plugin. It basically adds a completely customizable pop-up window to your WordPress blog. All users who are about to close their browser window and leave your blog will see that. You know, pop-ups simply work. Many people hate them because they believe they are intrusive and annoying, but this plugin here is not intrusive at all. Trust me, give it a try. Another strategy might be that of adding to your email signature a link to your sign-up page. You can also collect emails in person if you attend events, but obviously make sure you have permission to do so. Okay, now you know how to collect emails and what kind of emails to send to your subscribers. But how can you technically create a list and send out email updates? You can use various services to do so, but my most favorite is MailChimp. MailChimp is totally free until you reach 2,000 subscribers, which is great to start off with. Just like WordPress, MailChimp is incredibly popular on the web, and there are so many awesome tutorials to learn how to use it. Check out the lecture resources for a list of links to my favorite ones. One last tip I want to leave you with is select your subscribers. Having a limit of 2,000 subscribers for the free plan means that each subscriber has a cost for you if you go above that amount, so be selective. We said that you should be particularly authentic in your first email, and that's true also because of this. Don't try to appeal to everyone just because you want to grow your list. Do it smartly. Try to appeal to the right people, only to those that could potentially convert into actual customers. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this section, there are people who have actually made a living out of blogging, but to be honest, that's a pretty rare case. People think they can just quit their jobs and start a blog and become millionaires, but that's not the case. However, I do think that for you as an entrepreneur, running a blog can help you create an additional income stream. It's never bad to be able to make some money on the side, right? So let's see how to do it. There are two types of income you can generate thanks to your blog: passive and active income. Passive income makes money for you without any direct effort. For example, a book generates passive income because once it's written, it makes you money and you don't have to keep working on it. Active income instead requires direct, active efforts. My opinion is that the expression passive income is not really right because it's not really passive. Writing a book or producing anything that is worth spreading, anything that will guarantee a steady flow of income, requires a lot of work. However, for the sake of simplicity, I will keep referring to it as passive income, but please don't see it as some kind of get-rich-quick type of thing. Let's look at some examples of passive income. Through affiliate marketing, you earn a commission by promoting other people's products. You can find a product you like, you promote it to others, and earn a piece of the profit for each sale that you make. What is so great about affiliate marketing is that you don't have to invest the time and effort to create your own product. Please know that you can only do great profits with your affiliate marketing if your users trust you. If they don't, they will not buy something just because you recommend it. Nurture your relationship with your readers and build trust. If you think affiliate marketing could be a good option for you, take a look at ClickBank and see whether there is something you could use. Probably the most popular idea of how to make money online is and will always be advertising banners. You can create an AdSense account and start putting Google banners all over the place, but to be honest, you'll see that unless you seriously have hundreds of thousands of visitors per week, you won't get any real profit from it. Moreover, AdSense banners tend to give your site a sort of spammy look. You might have understood that I'm not a huge fan of Google AdSense. If you want to promote something on your blog, do it smartly. Seek out for sponsorship opportunities. Fashion bloggers make most of their money reviewing clothes, shoes, accessories, and that is exactly what you should do. Well, not necessarily with clothes, but you get the point. If your blog is about food recipes, contact, for example, a producer of olive oil and ask them if they will be interested in paying you and sending you some of their product in exchange for some special mention of the product on your blog. Maybe you might charge an extra amount if for a specific period of time you will not mention any other type of olive oil and just use theirs. If you're a travel blogger, you can contact a hotel and see if they're interested in having you there for one night and paying you for a review of your experience. There are many companies actively looking for bloggers that could promote their products, so you don't want to miss the chance of being approached by one of these companies. Make sure you have a sponsor page or work with me page in your blog and include the following information about your blog: number of monthly unique visitors, number of monthly page views, number of social media followers, your advertising policy. What kind of products are you looking to promote, or what kind of things you do not want to promote? Any other information that could be useful to a potential sponsor, such as what kind of specific market niche you are tapping. So these are the kind of information you should include. You might also have your very own product to sell, and if you don't, I'm sure you have valuable experience that people would pay for. Translate your experience into actual information and make this information available for a price, maybe in the form of an online program. Maybe you can just launch your own course on Udemy, or an ebook or a premium section on your website. There is a great plugin called Memberful that allows you to do just that. Many bloggers have made loads of money selling the so-called information products. But now let's see what kind of active income you can get from your blog. We said that a blog can give great exposure to your brand. This increase in exposure will open up so many great opportunities for you. Apart from increasing your customer base, you will start being perceived as an industry expert. So you might be invited as a speaker to events, and some people might be happy to pay you for a consultation, whether or not you positioned yourself as a consultant in the first place. Active income is anything that comes out of the fact that you are blogging and you get exposure from your blog. The bad thing here is that there is going to be a limit as to the number of people that can hire you for a consultation, or as to the number of events you can take part in as a speaker. With passive income, instead, you don't have this limitation. Successful bloggers do both, and this is a never-ending cycle. The more you do, the more people will spread your word, the more people will know about your work, and the more companies and customers will be willing to pay you. Now I have homework for you. Make a list of 20 companies you could contact to ask for a sponsorship. Try to be reasonable and honest with yourself. Which companies would seriously benefit from having their product or service promoted on your blog? Think about it and write down 20 names. So far, we've seen multiple tools that allow you to measure how you're doing on social media. Now it's time to put everything together and add some new pieces here and there. To measure your activity on Facebook, we learned how to master Facebook's Insights panel, because really all the information you need is there. We've looked at Twitter data using TweetReach and Topsy and learned to optimize our time and schedule tweets through TweetDeck. We've seen how to get useful data for your Instagram activity using simplymeasured.com. And now let's see other useful and free tools that you can use to monitor and then improve your results. You can use Social Mention to measure the so-called sentiment. Social Mention is a social media search and analysis platform that aggregates user-generated content from anywhere into a single stream of information. You can use it to check whether people are talking about you and what they're saying. SumAll is an all-in-one analytics tool. It combines a user's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Google Plus site into one dashboard, giving an overall picture of how social media users are reacting to their posts. But now enough with social media. Let's see how you can keep your blog activity under control. The best ever analytics tool for websites in general is Google Analytics. So visit google.com/analytics and explore its features. The quickest way to integrate Google Analytics to your blog is by installing a plugin called Google Analytics for WordPress by Yoast. If you want to go even deeper, download the Blog Metrics plugin by the same author. For more information about user engagement on your blog, you can install a plugin called Content Engagement for WordPress. I think now you have all the tools you need to measure your activity. But as you know, I love time optimization. So before ending this lecture, I want to point you towards another great tool you might use, that is Harvest. Harvest is an online time tracking software that allows you to understand how much time you are spending on each single task. Your time is valuable, so you should understand the best way to spend it. Try to use Harvest for some time, then check its reports and see how much time you spent updating your Facebook page, writing blog posts, or anything else. You might realize that you need to become faster at doing something. For example, if you use Photoshop for your graphics and that takes you a lot of time, try to save some time switching to Canva or PicMonkey. Adjust any activity to optimize your schedule. Now you have all your fantastic data about your social media and blogging activity. But how do you get the whole picture? How do you put them all together? With an analytics report. Producing an analytics report is all about identifying your KPIs, your key performance indicators. KPIs are business metrics used to evaluate factors that are crucial to your success. You need to have KPIs clear in your mind since the very beginning. Otherwise, you're not going to know what to measure and you get lost in analytics land. You'll also need to set a time frame that matters most to you. That might be 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month. It's your choice. An analytics report is not just useful to yourself, but to anyone else that will have to check your results. If you want to present your data to a client or an investor, you need to produce a nice report that is readable and immediately understandable. My advice to you is to write. Don't just put numbers on it. This will help you understand what's going on as you are forced to organize ideas in your brain. Download the template, complete the file with your numbers and your text, and give it a try. Hey there, finally it's case study time. You got it, the superhero previously mentioned is no other than the amazing Batman. Definitely my favorite superhero. There have been lots of movies about his story, but today we talk about the third and final chapter of the Dark Knight trilogy. Christopher Nolan's movies are not just famous for being particularly mind-blowing, but also for being backed by an incredible social media marketing campaign. The social media campaign for The Dark Knight Rises has been crowned Best Social Media Campaign Ever by various movie and business magazines, and it certainly helped the movie gross over $1 billion in box office sales worldwide. The first thing to point out is that the movie was the third installment of the trilogy, which, as anything else, comes with both pros and cons. On the one hand, the film could already rely on a solid fan base. On the other hand, the expectations were incredibly high, thus the team was under a lot of pressure to succeed. The impressive social media campaign was launched 12 months before the release of the movie, with the opening of a website presenting nothing but a cryptic audio file. The marketing team knew very well that some Nolan's fans, during one of their sleepless nights anticipating the movie release, would use some complex audio editing software to decipher the file, discovering the secret sentence that was "The Fire Rises." It didn't take long for fans to realize that "The Fire Rises" was actually a Twitter account containing a link to another enigmatic website inviting users to tweet the hashtag "The Fire Rises" until a picture of the movie would be unlocked. The mysterious image turned out to be a mosaic photo of the villain of the movie composed of the profile pictures of all the fans who tweeted hashtag "The Fire Rises." This type of experiential marketing proved to be incredibly effective, so they decided to keep following this direction for the subsequent trailer release. Fans had to upload pictures of Batman-related graffiti all over the world on Twitter, unlocking a frame of the new trailer with each picture. But they didn't just launch the challenge like that. They put it into a specific context. A fictional file for a criminal investigation was posted on thedarknightrises.com, containing a warrant for the arrest of John Doe, also known as the Batman. A fake press release explained that Batman led graffiti drawings of bats around the world and people should submit photographic evidence by Twitter or email. The full trailer was unlocked in a matter of hours. You might have noticed one thing. Surprisingly enough, there was no official Twitter account for The Dark Knight Rises. Warner Bros. Focus was mainly on Facebook. They let fans create the conversation on Twitter. This is a fantastic example of efficient use of resources. Remember we said that you should never spread too thin? Instead of creating an average presence on both social media, they focused on just one and they did something epic. Their incredible The Fire Rises campaign created positive spillovers that generated an incredible viral buzz on Twitter without the need for a direct investment. This is something all companies should learn from. It is better to concentrate on just one social media and use the available resources to create something that is memorable. It's not about quantity, again, it's about quality. This campaign is also a fantastic example of cross-media convergence. They didn't just use the internet, they created actual graffiti all over the world for people to take pictures of. Movie artworks would include the campaign hashtag. They mix the online and offline experiences to create something that is just outstanding. You may not have the resources and the permission to just go and draw graffiti with your company logo all over the place, but you can certainly come up with some idea that will put your campaign into context, that will amplify your customer's experience and make it unique. Last but not least, they created a community of people who had to fight together for the same goal. I found a comment online by a user who said, "The Fire Rises is so awesome, I will tweet just to be part of this historical moment." Could any company hope for more than that? Could you hope for more than that? Now, follow anything that you've learned throughout this course, apply it, and create your own historical moment.